Hey, hi. Yes, we're back. It's me. It's me, Astrologer Penny Dix. Welcome to the week ahead live astrology forecast. What's going to happen this week? And a huge amount of the Soul Fam is already here. Hello, Simi, Poonam, Jim, Annabelle. It's really good to see you here. And what can I say? How are we all? Because we are still in the full moon energy. So let me know how this full moon has been treating you, because it's not been quite as difficult as some of the others, I don't think. Hi, Linda. Good to see you. And I think it's been quite fair with us, which is interesting because it's Libra. So Libra is about fairness and balance. So, and leaves and gears. Hi, good to see you. And you're enjoying the break. Okay, Poonam, and you feel a bit calmer. I'm glad to hear it. That's good. Lisa Fisher, good afternoon. Early evening, Penny. Yeah, early evening for me. Good morning over on the West Coast. Good afternoon, lunchtime in the East Coast. And good evening for the UK, Europe, and further going west, east. Oh gosh, I don't know. My geography is terrible, isn't it? Yes, welcome balance is coming in. Hi, Jem. Good to see you. I'm good, thank you. I'm great. I'm off to see the surgeon tomorrow to see if I can book in my next surgery, because I thought it's a year since I've had surgery. I think I'll do it all again. And so tomorrow I'm seeing the shoulder specialist to see about repairing my rotator cuff tendons, because it was decided that stem cell therapy would not affect it because the damage is too bad. And I think I can attest to that. The pain is pretty severe. So that's all I will know about that tomorrow. And I'm hoping the surgery will be before the end of the month, because astrologically, that would be the best time for me. And Andy's here as well. Fantastic. Good morning, Andy. Oh, Torrin's first ball hockey game. Okay. Shirley, good morning, afternoon, evening. Actually, you're good evening. Okay, look, this full moon, I'm not going to talk about it much because we do know we've got the energy today. And I think it's just worth mentioning that we do still have this extraordinary stellium of energy in Pisces. Pisces, as you know, is about confusion, delusion, but imagination and our psychic awareness. So, but I think with all this energy in here at the moment, with Venus and Saturn virtually conjunct, the North Node is, well, basically you've got Venus, Saturn, the North Node, Mercury, basically conjunct 24, 25, 26, and 28. So they're a stellium, and they are really emphasizing this emotional energy, also the psychic energy, the intuition. But sometimes I think it's as if we get so immersed in it that we lose sight and lose touch of actually being able to focus on whether the feeling we've got, the perhaps psychic intuitive feeling, is genuine or not. Because I think with Mercury having just moved, or nearly going to move into Aries, but Mercury is at 28 degrees of Pisces, it has us kind of overthinking it a bit and wondering, is this really a genuine intuitive feeling? Let me know in the chat if any of you have had these feelings of doubting your intuitive gut feelings. Cosmic BL, trying to remember how long Mars takes to go round. Well, it takes about 18 months, nearly 2 years to go round the sun. And Mars is going to be moving into back into Leo very, very soon. And I think, 18th. So it is actually this week. And that is really going to change things up a gear. What's this? Really, Shirley, you're emotional. You've been feeling very emotional the last few days. I think that is partly the full moon energy, trying to get balance and harmony into our own energy. And also, there's just so much going on, isn't there? There's just so much to try and absorb and process in what's going on the world stage. And Annabelle, so glad you're doing well, Jen. Oh, Jem, yeah, okay. You're trying to work with the energies, Jem. And what else is going on? Jim, if you don't feel confused, am I just delusional? Well, I think we're probably all delusional, aren't we? To a certain degree. Poonam, a lot lately, actually. Somehow it gets worse around the full moon. A lot of roller coaster emotions this weekend. Finally started a bit of an even keel. Oh, really, Jem? Intuition. Wow, your doubting has been a thing. So trying to work with it and understand the deeper you. That's a really good way to work with it. Andy, you did your self-marriage ceremony. Oh, how wonderful. That must have been amazing. You'll give me the details later. Okay, I look forward to hearing about it. Hello, M. Hello. How good to have you here. And a lovely smile radiating from M. You're trying to cold turkey off of cigarettes and coffee. Oh, gosh, or caffeine, rather. Yeah, I can imagine that's hard. I'm fortunate in that I've never smoked, never wanted to, basically because I suffer from asthma, so it was never really a good combination. Coffee, I don't think I can do without. It was lovely. I'm so glad, Andy, that it was lovely. And, you know, as I said recently, the Libran energy with the full moon is great for this kind of, I love what you were attending, suggesting this self-marriage, a kind of a self-affirmation, self-validation, making a commitment to the self, I think is a wonderful way of using this Libran energy. And Venus, yes, has stationed direct, which is great news because we need these planets to be moving forwards now. And if you remember when I was talking about Venus conjunct Saturn in the astrobite and Venus turning direct, it really is about, I think from tomorrow we're going to see some shifts and changes in the somewhat frustrating energies that have abounded around the world economy, the world economic situation. And I do feel that Venus going direct, even though there's still going to be an element of confusion and just not seeing things clearly. I see your message, Leaves and Gears. I'll check with you in a minute. I'll come back to that. And I think that it's really about having a bit of faith still, because we are still in this Pisces energy. We need Venus to move on a bit. We need it to get past Saturn. Saturn, remember, is blocking Venus from moving forward. So we're still going to have the brakes on a bit with the markets, in the sense I feel people will be still jittery this week with the markets in general. So let me just come back to Leaves and Gears. Is it a good time for air travel and flying this week? Okay. Yes, I don't see any problems with that, because Uranus, that rules air travel and aviation, is still in Taurus, as we know, and it is sextiling still Saturn and Mars. And I see no reasons why there would be a problem with flying this week, because there are no harsh aspects. If anything comes up, I'll say it in an astrobite, but I don't see any problems. You did mirror work, Andy. Fabulous. Wrote vows to honor ourselves, did the self-marriage ceremony. Oh, how lovely. A group of lovely spiritual women doing this to honor yourselves. I think that is beautiful. Love it. And so, Annabelle, are you still feeling not so great? It's all gone bonkers, more bonkers by the day. Balance is required, as Jim said. I'm sorry things are difficult for you, Annabelle. Let's see if we can get some sense and sensibility into things. You know, I've got an astrobite coming out tomorrow morning, which is about the Saturn in Pisces conjunct the North Node. Now, this is for tomorrow. It's exact. This is quite an interesting transit and may be helpful for many of you, including you, Annabelle, because Saturn conjunct the node. Saturn, remember, is about giving ourselves some form and structure and backbone. It's as if we're going to find it much easier tomorrow to make the decisions to take the next steps forward with whatever we want to unfold on our karmic path. I hope that makes sense, because the North Node is about our karmic destiny. And in the event chart of Saturn conjunct the North Node, they are conjunct the ascendant of the event chart, which means it is very much an individual experience. So we're all going to be feeling this on an individual level. So I feel we start the week thinking, I think a firework just went off outside or something exploded. The cats have all gone bonkers and just scattered to the four corners. So if you saw me looking like WTF, it was because I think the village I live in has won the local football. So there could be a lot more disruption and bangs and crashes. So they're celebrating, but well done to the football team of Arla in Gozo. So you heard it. I know, it's like, oh, what's that? Gosh, oh dear. So this aspect tomorrow of Saturn conjunct the North Node is really kind of about the self. Find your backbone. There they go again. Whilst we are caught in this Pisces energy, we can feel all at sea. Literally, we can feel at sea with our emotions. We can feel at sea with our intuition. Saturn is inviting us to find a kind of spiritual and psychic backbone, so that if you can imagine that, invent it into yourself, kind of create it into yourself, a spiritual backbone, so that you have your back even when you're not aware that the divine has your back. Because if no one else has your back, the divine always does. So don't ever lose sight of that. Yeah, the cats are wondering what's happening in my place at the moment. I mean, I have, of course, beautiful polished tiles. That's how all the buildings are done here. They have these. I've got great, big, huge, shiny tiles, and they slip on them, and so they were kind of going and not getting anywhere. Poor little things. But somewhere they are now under the beds and hiding. My poor little babies. Oh, actually, funnily enough, the only one that didn't move is George, George Chin. And he's still sitting on his chair in the corner, just sitting there. So he's okay. Yes, Jim, absolutely. Balance is there to be found. We have to we have to find it, and we have to do this inner work on our own. It's very difficult sometimes to rely on others. You know, Mercury, our planet of communication, is moving into Aries on the 16th. So that's on Wednesday. Once Mercury moves into Aries, we are going to notice certainly on the world stage, the kind of political rhetoric, leadership rhetoric really firing up. And so even though we may experience a rather sluggish start to the week with regard to the economy and the markets, I think the markets will open tentatively, depending what happens overnight in the Far East, who will, of course, open before the rest of the world. So I'm just having a quick look at what you're saying. Hi, Janice, you're here. Lisa, your Virgo husband is going through hell on earth and can make no sense or learning, but going for nothing, last forever. This too will pass. Yes, this will pass. I'm sorry he's going through such a bad time. The problem for Virgos is they do overthink everything and they become little worry pots. Virgos really, and you're Virgo rising, Liz, the Iron Maiden, and you're struggling too. Yeah, it is tough. And you remember, Virgo, you've got the South Node in your sign. So what's happening is it's bringing back a lot of energy from the past, a lot of memories from the past, a lot of things that may be concerning you, worrying you, that you're ruminating on. You're a Virgo rising, Jim, right? So Andy, Virgo 12th house, moon and North Node, you can confirm all the worry. What I want to say to all of you with a busy Virgo energy in your chart is just take it easy. Try and breathe and stay in the present moment. There really, remember Mercury rules Virgo. And Mercury on the 16th is moving into Aries. I think from midweek, anyone with the energy in Virgo is going to notice that shift. I think by that point, you will get to the point where you will go, right, enough of this. I'm going to pull myself together, whether it's literally or metaphorically, to get yourself into a better state of mind so that you can tackle and manage whatever is being dealt to us collectively during the following week or on an individual level. Oh, now the fireworks are just going non-stop. This will go on all evening, and this is just going to be like, oh. Anyway, there we go. It is what it is, and here we are. So let's see. Amanda Self, welcome. You're Virgo North Node. So you are having a reverse nodal return. And I can't remember the exact meaning of the reverse nodal return. I can look it up, but it will take me a few minutes, but I'll have a look in a minute. You like Aries energy. Well, Aries energy is good, Annabelle, because we are at the beginning of the zodiac. So we will feel like new beginnings. Once most of this energy moves out of Pisces, we are going to feel a lot more energized. And when Mars enters Leo, that has also been holding us back on the 18th, because we've got, let's just think about this. Mercury is moving into Aries on the 16th. So what we will have is still Mars will be at the anaretic degree of Cancer. But at the same time, remember, it's coming up to make that opposition with Pluto. Now, this is going to be big. And this is we're going to feel the build up of that energy now, but that's going to be exact on the 26th, 27th of this month, around the same time as the new moon in Taurus. That's going to be a biggie because it's the third and final transit of these two planets. And this time they're making the transit from Aquarius to Leo. So it is going to be quite significantly different energy. But let's come back to the good stuff, because don't worry, if you can, about the energy of Pisces that we've all got a little bit lost in and entrenched in. This is going to clear. Neptune is already in Aries. So Neptune is giving us a little bit of a helping kind of hand to move forward. And by the 17th, Mercury will have moved into Aries and be conjunct Neptune. This is when it's going to be much easier for you all to see more clearly what you want to say, to be able to speak your truth, to be able to speak your intuition, to be able to trust your gut feeling. It will just make it easier. I think we will see on the world stage things changing from the midweek onwards. That has to be good news. And of course, you see, literally and kind of just from a kind of practical point of view, brokers who have to manage their books are coming up to a holiday. Good Friday, Easter Saturday, Easter Sunday. In some countries, like the UK, we have Easter Monday, bank holiday. What this means is brokers like to balance their books before they stop working, before a holiday. So what we will probably see, and I don't have to be right, but just from remembering the time when I did actually, believe it or not, work for a couple of years as a trainee money broker, they let me loose in a foreign exchange department. Not a good idea. I might be Taurus, I might be good with money, but not other people's, at least not in my case. But that's another story. What I want to say is I think we will see the markets fairly buoyant tomorrow. Then I think they will dip down because some more news will come out that will send the jitters around the markets. And it was interesting. I listened to a program on Sky News on a Sunday morning, which is a lovely news program, which is by a journalist called Trevor Phillips. And one of the people he interviewed today about the tariff debacle is an economist, an American economist, who actually has the Nobel Peace Prize. And I'm not quite sure why he had the Nobel Peace Prize, but he did. But he is an economist and a very high up, knows what he's talking about economist. Now, what he said was let's go back to our vegetable soup. So the carrot does probably not really know what he's doing. He is winging it, which I think we've probably all guessed anyway. And it was just quite nice to have that kind of affirmed by an economist. But yes, Annabelle, he speaks the truth, Trevor Phillips. He doesn't take any prisoners, does he? He's great. Is everything a bit crackly? Oh dear. I have no idea if my mic is okay. I use the laptop and it is what it is. So what I think is the markets are going to go down a bit Midweek, they're going to just slowly climb and finish in positive territory by the end of the working day on Thursday. That is my kind of feeling about what the markets will do. We're cracking up. Yeah, it's all quite crackly, is it? I'm sorry. What I'll do is try this, bitches. What I do is I take the power switch out and see if that makes a difference. So we're now on battery and we'll see if that matters. You know, I did a live with Sarah last night and okay, we were sitting in that part of the room, but the sound was perfect. It all went really, really, really well. So I don't know why it goes crackly. It could be that it's a Sunday night, and it could be that a lot of people are on the internet on a Sunday night in my locality. They're watching films, they're downloading films from streaming services. And so the weight of traffic on the internet is, you know, kind of spread out. So one is only getting a little bit, you're cracking up now. Okay. Aren't we all cracking up? Mercury conjunct Neptune. Still, though, I would say the other side of this Mercury conjunct Neptune on Wednesday is don't believe everything you hear, because there could be news coming out which actually is a little bit, well, not quite what it seems. So I would say be a little bit canny about what you hear. So then Mercury will start to continue to move forward. Now, interestingly, the North Node also on the 17th, which is about our karmic destiny, is sextiling, which is traditionally a helpful aspect, Uranus in Taurus. That's just caught my eye, and I just think that's quite interesting because Uranus is about shocks and surprises. I wonder what's going to come out into the, world to do with economy, because it's in Taurus in the second house of the event chart. Something will come out about what I'm feeling is the words that came into my head was backroom dealing. So this means there is something that will come out about insider trading. We had that a little bit suggested in the news last week, and I'm just wondering if something more comes out. Let me know in the chat. Can I give you some insight into what April the 28th will be like? It's election day in Canada. See me, I will do that as a separate video, because next weekend, which is Easter weekend, I'm not going to do a live. And the 28th is, going quickly to my calendar, is the following week. So what I will do is put out an astrobite midweek to look, mid-Easter week, to look at the Canadian election for you. So I will do that, no problem. Let's see what else you're saying. Yes, Poonam, I think you're right. Insider stuff. Right. So hello, Eri V. Good to see you here. You feel quite sure too, Jim, about insider trading, manipulation of markets. It's just like, yeah, it's kind of, I know I'm saying kind of, but obvious. Could be the wind. Oh, okay, Diva Diane. Could be the wind. Oh, it's a typhoon in Zebuj, is it? Okay. Miss Diva Diane lives in Gozo. She's a friend of mine. And so, yes, that's true. the weather conditions here do affect the internet. I don't know why, but it does. So that could be what it is. Hello, Linda from New York. Welcome here. It's good to see you. It's all okay now, is it? Okay, that's good. So there was someone else said something, Annabelle, smoke and mirrors, the truth shall set us free. Absolutely. Oh, your Wi-Fi is going in and out, is it, Diva Diane? That could be it. And what with the banging going on, with the petards going off and the fireworks, you'd think someone had won a football match. Oh, they did. So let's move on to this Mars entering Leo, because this was what I was talking about. The audio is a bit better now, is it? Okay, we'll see how it goes. So let's have a look. So Mars finally enters Leo on the 18th of April. This is very good news. However, let's get prepared for when the opposition from Mars to Pluto is exact, which, as I said, is just around the new moon in Taurus, which is on the 27th, 28th, or 26th, 27th. Mars in Leo is more comfortable because it's a fire sign and Mars is a fire planet. Pluto, opposite, we know is about sex, death, endings, new birth, beginnings, when hell freezes over. Any of those statements that you can think of would be, now we've got a bus going round with a large horn on it and screaming. Oh, joy is fun. Diva Diane will know what I mean. It sounds like I'm on a roll. I do my best. Okay, so for you all personally, remember back to what was happening around the US election for you personally. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th of November in 2024. Then jump forwards to the beginning of January, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, because we had the same aspect. However, this time it's really re-emphasizing the Aquarius Mars energy in Leo. We have this fixed energy. This is like someone takes an action that cannot be reversed. It cannot be changed. My cat George has just given up and run to his safe place. He said, he can't stand it anymore. It's so noisy here. So yeah, Janice, absolutely. So there is something for me that is happening around the end of the month and the new moon, which can't be avoided and can't be changed, and could potentially be destructive. I'm just picking this up. I'm not trying to be a scaremonger or predict anything terrible, but I do think there is some negative energy around this transit. It happens. Now, what's interesting is it's happening in what I call the homeland. It's between the homeland and the people. There's something going on. Something goes on. And I think something happens on that date, but I don't know what. I mean, I'll be doing an astrobite for it, and it is later this week, actually, but I think it's a day to not take unnecessary risks with anything. We might find our fuses are very short, and The 18th is actually, what day is it? It's Friday. It's Good Friday. Ooh, okay. So it's actually Good Friday. So that's when Mars enters Leo. Well, actually, that may be a good thing that things are closed down, because I think most Catholic and Christian parts of the world do observe the religious traditions of closing and bank holidays on Good Friday. Okay, Jim, what are you saying? Shocking even for these days. Oh, yes, Parry, very interesting. The craziness of the sun's activities is a very interesting part of our journey in which we are all experiencing odd things. Has anyone been watching Stephen Burns? Because I haven't actually watched his video from yesterday, but he did an amazing video about these solar plasma shots that were just being hurled at the earth. So we will also be affected by that. How it seems to affect people is potentially headaches, not sleeping well, or feeling sleepy, insomnia, or too much sleep, but it affects most of us in some way. And I think it can make us feel quite on edge, just edgy. And for me, it makes me feel, I just want to sleep. It's like I just want to stay in bed asleep, is how it affects me. Oh, I'm on Bluetooth, Andy. How exciting. Oh, the whole family's listening. Hello, everybody. Hello, Torin. Oh, Ruby, everybody. Great to see you. Let's see. Yes, the banks are closed Friday and Monday in Canada. Okay. Yeah. Yes, Parry and Jim, it's difficult to find balance and harmony at the moment. Insomnia with anxiety, Poonam. Poonam, breathe. And this too shall pass. Oh, bless them. I love all of you too. And stay in bed, Brigadoon land. Yes. Yes, Annabelle, there was that awful helicopter crash in New York. That was tragic. And that may be part of the energy of this Mars Pluto as we approach it. It could also have been for the family that sadly lost their lives, something about the full moon, because it was leading up to the full moon. And somebody, I think, said something about their car, but I don't know what it was. But what I want to say is just be mindful that the second half of this month, it's still going to be wound up, even over Easter, even though Easter is a holiday weekend. And just to reiterate, for those of you that may have just joined, I'm not going to do a live next Easter Sunday. I'm going to have a day off. There will be some Astrobites. I will pre-record them this week, but I will have a day off. So, Parry, you're saying you agree. You're sleeping and still tired and not feeling grounded. Upheaval and uncertainty. Yes. Yeah. Oh, did you hear that? Loud bangs going on here. Gosh. So I think what I'm going to do, I want to, the Schumann resonance. Absolutely, Liz. Fantastic. Oh, someone is suggesting melatonin. Good idea. Andy, you're suggesting it? Good idea. But remember to check if you're on any other medication. Don't self-medicate, people. Please always check with your, health professional, because self-medicating, if we're on other meds, sometimes we're on prescribed meds that we have to be on, isn't always a good idea. So just make sure you do. You know, Simi, that is really interesting that you're saying that. You can't shake the feeling of a huge disturbance or event that may happen very soon. Yeah. And last night after Sarah and I did our live that it's actually quite good to even watch as the replay, because I watched it as a replay, and it's quite amusing, though I say so myself. So it's just on our channel, Channeling and Stranger Things, and certainly we're the Stranger Things. And but we decided to continue after we finished the live, asking the questions we really want to ask, because we feel restricted by the guidelines that are in place on this particular social media platform. So it's always good to kind of keep that private. And I know this is why people do Patreon and membership only, so they can have a free rein to what they talk about. I'm just not sure I have the capacity currently, or the space, the time to manage doing live videos for everybody or doing a Patreon. So probably not at the moment. So I think it's interesting about the Schumann resonance. Bananas and jacket potatoes are natural for helping release serotonin, plus ASMR videos on YouTube. Oh, that's really interesting. Okay, thank you for that. What I want to say is, we did this afterwards. We asked the divining rods certain things because we've both been feeling that something may happen. And, you know, not to cause distress to anyone, but we did get some answers to the questions we asked. And it was for the month of June. It was potentially to do with aviation. So I'm not giving anything away here. Nearer the time, I will check the astrology. So it was potentially to do with aviation and airports, is really all I can say, without hopefully getting cut off. So let's see. Now, I have a word for the day. I'm going to do the word for the week, not the day. I'm going to do the word for the week. Oh, thank you, Annabelle. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. We really enjoyed it too. You feel, Liz the Iron Maiden, that something's coming too. What's this? Are we experiencing Erigor? What's that? It's like disturbance in the force. I don't know. I don't know what. Not sure. Anxiety levels are going bonkers. Okay. So look, it's so good to see so many of you here, and welcome to the people who have just recently joined. You may not be in the chat, but I can see from the numbers that you're here. So thank you so much for joining. I'd love it if you're new to this channel, if you'd subscribe and comment, join in the chat. I've kind of finished the astrology bit now. I'm going on for the word of the week and the tarot card for the week, because we didn't have that last week. And I don't think we've got our tarot lady watching today, so I will do it. You listened to War of the Worlds the other day. Oh yeah, goosebumps center, absolutely. The extra side effects. Can you still hear them? Hello, I Revenge. Good to see you. Liz, no, please, my love. You're not alone feeling anxious. You know, we all get these periods of time, and a lot of it is what's going on in our own lives. What happens is we stop staying in the present. We have to switch off the news, stay in the present, and be kind to us, parent our own inner child. That way we can start to feel more grounded. That's all we have to do. We just have to be a little bit disciplined. And bringing in, swiftly segue to my word for the week, we have to show ourselves empathy. So this is the word for the week, empathy. Because this is where we have to have that understanding. We have to have that feeling with others, to hold space for others with compassion, especially when people are struggling. I understand what you're saying, Simi, about this lingering feeling. There is something around. Yeah, kindred spirits, Annabelle. Thank you. So Moshin Hamid said about understanding others, empathy is about finding echoes of another person in yourself. And that really fits in with the fact that we have this wonderful soul fam. And with the soul fam, we actually have that connection of recognizing the like-mindedness in each other. Here's one about human connection by Henry David Thoreau. Could a greater miracle take place than for us to look through each other's eyes for an instant? And that is so true. So true. You were thinking, Cosmic BL, about empathy this morning and how we need to continuously develop in this respect. So true. Yes, I am going to pull a card, Annabelle. Don't worry. And Jem, don't worry. I'm going to pull a card. Let's hope we get a good one. Now, here's one on the power of presence. And you know, to be present, not just for another, but to be present for ourselves is a real gift we can give ourselves. So Rochelle E. Goodrich said, sometimes all a person wants is an empathetic ear. All they need is to know someone else cares. And I would add to that, and just listens, hears them. We're not always looking for the solution. What we're looking for is someone to hear us, to hear that we're in pain, and to find out that we're not alone. And I think that is how this particular soul fam that we are creating, that grows daily, is so perfect for us, because we know we each care. And the fact that we all plan to reunite each week at this time in this place shows that collective empathy and love for each other. So there's another one here which is about healing through empathy, which is by Marcus Aurelius. I always get that wrong. Aurelius, our famous Roman emperor or Roman centurion. That was Life of Brian. Whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself the following question. What fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I am about to criticize? Let me say that again. Whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself the following question. What fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I am about to criticize? Now there's food for thought. You pulled a dandelion card last time, Cosmic BL. You've pulled another flower, the rose, which is about our feelings of love and tenderness, among other things. How perfect. How perfect is that? Now we've got another quote here, which is about compassion, about the action of compassion by Alfred Adler. And its empathy is seeing with the eyes of another, listening with the ears of another, and feeling with the heart of another. And that is in many ways what a listening ear is about. as I said, it's not always about finding a solution, although getting stuck in the problem isn't helpful. The process, for instance, of psychotherapy is to listen and not give a solution, not give an immediate solution, but encourage and empower the other, the client, to discover their own solution. And that can sometimes take weeks or months. And it's not about going, oh, I know what you could do. I know what you could do. It's about keeping still, being still and quiet and listening, holding space for the other to express. Carl Rogers finally talked about the importance of empathy in a divided world. Now, I think this is probably going to be very apt for where we are currently in the world. We think, we listen, but very rarely do we listen with real understanding and true empathy. Yet listening of this very special kind is one of the most potent forces for change. Now, Carl Rogers was the creator, if you like, of person-centered therapy. And, just the title makes sense. It's about the person who's come to you for the therapy, not about the therapist, not about the therapist's agenda. Oh, that happened to me. It's about the person seeking to be held in an empathic space, safe place and space. Listen without judgment, Annabelle is saying. Yes. I'm sure as a Virgo, you give yourself a hard time and you have to tell yourself to just zip it. Oh, don't we all, Annabelle? Let's get a tarot card and then I'll go and have my supper. Right. Let's see what we're going to get today. Oh dear, how will the week unfold, Tarot? We want a word, a card. It's this one. Okay. This was the one that came up. It's the Four of Cups. Well, this is interesting. This is interesting because I think what it's suggesting to us is this week, and I'm seeing this as representing that it's a short week for all of us because it's a bank holiday, even though this is 4 and we will actually have 5 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Oh, no, actually, yes, it is only 4 working days. See, I can't do arithmetic. I can't do maths. Thank you, Monica. Bless you. So what I want to say with this is let's think about what is contained in this cup. What might we be missing this week? Is our focus being drawn to something else? Are we being distracted? Are we being given false information that keeps us locked in the past? I just wonder, because what I'm wondering is that what we need to do if we find ourselves allowing ourselves to be distracted by the information that is being fed to us through social media or through the news channels, look up. Look to your own inner intuition, your gut feeling. Then I think you will find the truth. First of all, it has to be your own truth. Let me see what Green-Eyed Goddess says here. As a therapist, if you start to make it about you, It's called countertransference. Absolutely well done, which is basically absolutely unethical. That's why therapists need therapists, aka supervision, to keep their own baggage in check. As a therapist, retired from therapy, I think I did about 20 years of twice weekly personal self-development psychotherapy, and I used to have once weekly personal one-to-one supervision and twice monthly group supervision. And that was the most wonderful experience of my life, those in a sense, those 20 years when I really worked full-time as a therapist. I learnt so much more about myself and about life. You're welcome. And let's see. Linda, thank you. You're enjoying the conversation. I'm so glad. And does anyone else have anything they want to say about this card? Is this a card that resonates for any of you? We've got to look at what we're missing. It's like we're being offered something from the unconscious. Is he sitting on the ground or levitating? That's an interest. Do you know, I'd never looked at it like that, but that is a very interesting thought. I wonder, and I'd be interested to know what you make of that. If he's levitating, then is it actually that he's caught in his own spiritual narcissism and floating on a cloud and not grounded? Because what he's missing is what is being offered, I feel, from his unconscious, the true feeling, the truth of what it's about. Thank you, Green-Eyed Goddess. Thank you. And it's good to meet another therapist. Yes, Cosmic BL, the body stays grounded, but not the rest. Not accepting what you want and repelling what you need. Yes, because this is what we need. And sometimes what we want is not going to be good for us. We have to trust the way that the divine is showing us. Jem, you're right. Things may not always be as they seem to us. And that's why we have to have a bit of faith in the long term, in the astrology. You know, the astrology is going to be quite strident for another two months, maybe 3. Then it'll settle down because several of the outer planets go retrograde. Jupiter will have moved into Cancer. A lot of this kind of strident energy, which we haven't seen for literally hundreds of thousands of years, will have departed. Thank you, Andy. Yes, we have to place all our faith in the astrology because it works. It works. And you, a green-eyed goddess, you see leaving the 3 behind, which is heavy, and getting something lighter and better in return. Exactly. Put your baggage down. We don't need it all. You know, I'm going through this cathartic time at the moment, clearing out all my cupboards and drawers because I'm relocating to the UK when my apartment finds its buyer, or when the buyer finds my apartment. See, I'm very selective about the language I use. So it's very cathartic to let go of the past and of past baggage. That can be people as well. Somebody said to me recently, because I seem to have a lot of friends, in inverted commas, that seem to have just dropped away, that I was leaving a trail of dead bodies behind me. Not literally, but it certainly felt a little bit like that. You tell yourself daily that the universe is always right. Anything that happens is for your highest good. and the highest good of all. Absolutely. How's the cockerel neighbour, Chanticleer? Still crowing away. There's a peacock at the moment next door. I haven't seen it, but it's going wah, 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 and that kind of sound. Yes, I can do bird impersonations. How about that? You're a Cancer and you can't wait for Mars to leave. Yeah, absolutely. I know. It's I've got Cancer in my 12th house, so I've got Mars in my 12th house, currently conjunct my natal Uranus and Jupiter conjunct, which is just quite challenging. I'm making way, yes, for the new to flow through, Jem. Absolutely. Now I'm going to bring this to a close because my tummy is rumbling, so I think it's telling me it's time to have some supper. So listen, my beautiful soul fam, you really are awesome. Thank you all of you who have joined and not joined in the chat. I can see you're there. I know you're there. And I really, really appreciate that you've joined us all today. And remember, it's lovely if you can like, if you can comment, share, subscribe. And remember, if you do want a session with me, email me direct on my website. After tomorrow, I will know when, I hope after tomorrow, I will know when my shoulder surgery is going to be. So that might take me out of action for a few days this month. I don't know. It certainly won't be this week or next week. I shouldn't have thought. So don't worry. Don't worry if you've already got a session booked with me. I'll be in touch to find another time. So it'll all sort itself out. So I'm off to Malta tomorrow. That's exciting. And in the meantime, I really want to wish you all a great rest of the day, great evening. I love you loads. And I will see you in 2 weeks' time. No live stream next Sunday, but happy Easter. And there will be Astrobites. Okay, guys. Bye for now. Bye. Bye.